What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. So today, I just want to talk to you guys about something that I really think is hurting a lot of eBay sellers. So I want to talk about price, and this isn't just average sellers, small sellers. This is something that I see is pretty prevalent on eBay, and I wonder how much it contributes because I know it does contribute, but I wonder how much it's contributing to a lot of the sales problems that a lot of sellers are voicing. Let's just say voicing. I ain't even going to say complaining about. Now, y'all know I sell on multiple platforms, okay? eBay, Walmart, and Amazon. So here's the thing. When I'm now, and this goes for me selling and comping items across platforms, and this also goes for um, when I buy items. So first I'll start off like when I buy stuff. So the thing I buy the most, of course, is shipping supplies. Now, when I'm buying shipping supplies, I usually I got a couple sellers that I use, and they're mostly on Amazon. And then sometimes I don't know, they might be out or they're come and go or whatever. So I'm looking for a good price. Typically, the items what I get, I might get 500, 1,000, bubble mails at a time. Typically, it's cheaper on Amazon. Okay. Um, Now, even I've noticed that the sellers who sell on Amazon and eBay, their price on eBay is always higher than their price on Amazon every single time. It's always higher, and that's very telling. So I noticed that usually when I'm looking to buy something, unless I'm getting it used, the new price is usually higher than what the item is selling for on Amazon and Walmart. But that's not always the case, but in a lot of cases. Now, that's just with that. And so that sample for me is smaller than my comping sample, right? Because I'm typically comping a bunch of items, man, hundreds, if not thousands, throughout the months, right? And man, I can't even begin to tell you guys, like, this is something that's helped me even with my sales on eBay, okay? I've noticed when I've been comping items on eBay and cross referencing the price with Walmart and Amazon, the eBay items are higher or priced higher than the Walmart and Amazon items. And it just made me start thinking and wondering, like, man, this is crazy. Uh, the two bigger platforms that are eBay's competition, and of course, this has nothing to do with eBay per se, but those bigger platforms are priced usually the same, and some of that got to do with Amazon's trickery. They got some witchcraft going on where they manipulate prices, and this is something that's already out there. Amazon manipulates prices all across the internet and all of that. But witchcraft aside, eBay sellers are pricing their items higher. So I'm like, dang, why is that? So of course, comes to mind promoted listings, right? So here's what I started doing. I said, okay, um, if let's just say I got I don't know, let's say I got some CeraVe lotion, right? And let's say that lotion is selling on Walmart and Amazon for about $14, $15 or so. Okay. And this is a real life example. Let's say that CeraVe lotion is selling on Walmart and Amazon 14, 15. Well, when I go to eBay to look at them prices, those prices are typically, you may find one or two sold here and there that's in that same range, but typically those prices are up to the 17, 18, $19 range on eBay, right? And that's the case in a lot of the health and beauty items that I'm selling across the platform is typically higher on eBay. Now, and of course, I'm talking about new with no blemishes, okay? And even I notice people who selling their stuff with some blemishes, maybe the box is a little messed up, they still want higher prices. So now what I do is this. I told you I do 5% across the board. So now I'm like, okay, I ain't even gonna play that game on eBay. because for one, I know it just takes way too long, right? So I have started pricing my items at the pretty much the same price that is priced at on Walmart and Amazon. I don't care what the sellers on eBay are doing, and that's with my 5% promoted listing rate. And compared to the other platforms, I might not make as much, but remember, some of these things do have blemish. That's what I'm saying. Like people pricing these things high, and they still got blemishes. And so some of my items got blemishes, but then some of them don't. Some of them brand new. It's just that if Walmart or Amazon got the buy box, if I want to price my item in order to get the buy box, it just kind of takes me lower than I want to be at. So I'm like, okay, well, instead of playing that game, because on Walmart going to want me to undercut by almost 20% at least. So that's a 20% hit in addition to the referral fees. And then Amazon, you don't really got to go as low as 20%, but still you're gonna have to drop a good 10% or so, and you still might not get the buy box with those jokers. So I'm like, all right, well, instead of doing that, I'll just do my 5% promoted, right? And I'll still price my item at the same price that Walmart and Amazon is selling it for, right? So now it's a win-win because I don't got to play the underbid game on neither platform. I don't got to undercut Walmart 20% to get the buy box. I ain't got to undercut Amazon 10+% to get the buy box. I can just add a 5% promoted and still price my item at the same price as them, and so I save myself anywhere from 5 to 5 to 10% or so. And I'm going to sell before the other sellers. And of course, again, this is with newer items. And I've seen this with larger sellers, and I've been seeing this with smaller sellers because I always when I comp items, I'll go check a person's store out too because I want to see how big the store is, what else they selling, and I'm just curious about it, right? And the prevailing outlook on the landscape is that overall eBay items, and I look at a lot of items, y'all, and I'm talking about mainly in my space, okay? And I want you to know if you sell now I can't really put that into the like used clothes space because you can't sell used clothes on Walmart and Amazon, so there's nothing comparable for that. But if you sell other stuff that's new in a different category, let me know like what the prices are like compared to other platforms because I feel like people are giving away more money by paying eBay a higher promoted than they have to. This is why I think that they're priced so high because they're doing these high promoted ad rates, 10%, 15%. Maybe they are actually doing those suggested rates, those crazy high rates, and they're trying to make back up for it on the price. However, the problem is the customer is not stupid, and a lot of customers will cross-reference that with eBay and with Amazon. And if you're doing a Google search, it's going to show those prices in the search results. It just started making me wonder because I was going through it again today, and I sold. Let me see. These are a couple items, right? That wasn't a high profit margin, but I was able to make something because I didn't have to finagle with. I didn't have to undercut Walmart or nobody like that. So I had sold two boxes of Sensodyne. Okay, 2-pack. I sold it for $14.99. All right. Now I gotta go to a whole other. Well, I gotta go look at VCO for the shipping, so I ain't even about to do that part. I just want to see something real quick. Well, no. Where am I? Where am I at? All right. So I'm using eProfit calculator. So $14.99, 5% promoted. So as of right now, that without shipping, my profit on that is $12.04 with eBay fees. So you probably those two tubes of toothpaste, you probably can take about let's just say shipping for the sake of argument was $5. That takes me to $7.04. Now in that same two tubes that I sold for $14.99, okay, I see one seller who's selling it for a total They selling it for $13.98 plus $4 shipping. And as far as the type, the kind that I have, because there's a couple other ones. There's another one. All right, that's not the same type. There's another one that went $21, and then the rest are not the same type. So the rest of them wanted a little bit more. All right, and then there was another item that I sold. So this one I only sold for $10.44 with a 5% promoted. Now this was a Aveeno Daily Moisturizing Body Oil Mist with oat oil. Okay. Now that probably would have weighed. I put that in a box. It would have been about 8 to 12 ounces. Even if I keep that same $5 shipping cost in there, for the sake of argument, I still made $3.26. Right. That's more than I would have made on Walmart and them, because I would have took a loss, because I would have had to underprice so low, because Walmart was selling it for about the same price, like $10.95, somewhere around there, for the same item right now. And I'm looking at some sellers. You got one seller who wants $17.99. You got another seller who wants $12.99. Another seller that wants $14.19, $13.24, $14.49. So everybody's priced fairly high. There's one at $14.78, which ain't too far off of mine. But so anyway, I sold mine at the going rate, right? And I didn't have to hold it long, because I feel like I might have been waiting a while if I would try to price it up there. But my whole point is, this is just two examples, small examples, but I've been noticing this across the board, at least in my space. I don't know what's going on. I think the used market is a little bit different, because there's really no used market on other platforms. And so the point is that you guys really, really have to be sensitive about your price. Now, don't undercut yourself, of course, but don't necessarily price at the same price as other sellers either. You want to know what's funny? And some sellers don't know this. You have sellers that will price low or high, depends, in order to mess with other sellers. So it's a different game on eBay, because not all the sellers are on the same listing. On Walmart and Amazon, sellers do weird stuff. They'll take the price real low, maybe buy you out, take the price real low, maybe to get you to sell out at a very low profit or a loss, because they know they got a whole much more, so then they could bump the price back up. All types of crazy tactics that sellers use, y'all. But there's ways that you can do similar things on eBay, and if you follow other sellers' pricing format, sometimes it can have your item sitting. And so I feel like, look, you can't price based on desperation and think a buyer is going to be as desperate to make that purchase as you are to make that sale at that price, right? For all intents and purposes, the buyer is under no obligation or has no sense of urgency for the most part to get that item. Okay, they have all the time in the world. They can do all the research in the world. They can do all the comps in the world, price around, shop around. And so you should never price based on desperation, based on, oh, I need this much. You should never price based on attachment, because you're attached to an item. You should never price based on your own idea of what the value of the item is, right? Even if the item was once a lot more valuable than what it really is, that don't mean you stick with it. Listen, the market dictates the price. Of course, you can set any price, but that doesn't mean that you'll get a sale, or if you do, who knows how long that sale may take. I think that one of the advantages that some sellers have over others is their understanding of pricing. And you can use that pricing as a weapon, right, against other sellers. And you can use that pricing as a beneficiary, or to be beneficial on your own part, if you do it right and understand the market. Pricing should always be based on the market. It should never be based on anything else subjective, anything that's in your mind, or your idea of what the price should be. It should be based on the market. And even if you have multiple sellers in a certain category priced around the same, if that item is not moving, you can't be afraid to readjust that market by lowering the price. There are times when a market can be on fire. It could be on fire. People could be buying up something, but something happens, right? The economy gets kind of bad, or people struggling, and what was once on fire has slowed down to a crawl. But everybody's holding their price, right? And so don't be afraid to be the first person to say, you know what, man, I done had this priced at $34.99 for the last 3 months and ain't got no traction. Let me drop it down a little bit. Me personally, I'm gonna tell you what I would do. If I had an item priced at $34.99 and I know it was a desirable item that usually sells fairly quickly and it wasn't moving, my next step would be $29.95. I don't care if nobody else changed their price. My next step would be $29.95. Okay, I would give that about another month, maybe. It'd be two to 4 weeks. If it didn't sell within that 2 to 4 weeks, my next step would be $24.95. My cost in it is going to be way low anyway, and so I'm not going to have to worry about margin. And here's the thing, even if that was the case, I still want to get rid of it because now if I'm holding on to it, it's losing value daily. So you can't try to punish the customer for your bad buys, or if that's the case, right? If it's a bad buy, or you can't punish the customer because of your stubbornness. You understand what I'm saying? And so, guys, I encourage you, understand pricing and pricing schemes. You should really read some of these or listen to some audiobooks about the psychology of pricing. I think this is really, really overlooked. Yeah, you hear people talk about pricing and things like that. But if you really start to look at it and you get in the lab, right? Like you the mad scientist and eBay is your lab, right? And you up in the lab and you're solely basing your prices on the market that's in your category and on the results that you want to get, and you don't care what everybody else is doing. You don't care. You don't even necessarily care what the sold comps say. And I said necessarily. You don't even necessarily care. But I had an item that um was selling. I had a few items like this selling on multiple platforms for, I want to say, around $200. I have multiple. I had some audio cables and things like that across all platforms. Everywhere I did my research, it's about $200 range. I had this skin like UV light thing. I don't know, man. This was a $200 item. Listen, that item set so long, I forgot I even had it. I can't even remember. I was doing something, looking for an item, and I must have typed in a keyword and brought that item up, and I'm like, oh shoot, I forgot I even had that. That's how long it was sitting there. No traction, y'all. Not even an offer. Um, Same thing with the audio cables. And those audio cables I had on eBay and Walmart. So I'm like, all right, it's been long enough. Time to start playing with the prices. Everybody else is priced they've been holding their price. I didn't see nobody that had a lower price nowhere. That's what made me kind of hold. So I'm like, all right, we ain't gonna play this game. So my first step was to go down 129.99, somewhere around there. Still no traction. I ended up finally selling those items off. I want to see. I want to see if I can find them, man. I can't remember the name of the skin thing because that was a while ago. Let me see. Okay, so the one audio cable. This is called Better Cables Silver Serpent Anniversary RCA Audio Interconnect Cable. Okay, my original price for that one was around somewhere around 90. I ended up selling that for 68.95. Okay, 68.95. That set for a while. The other one, Audio Quest Sydney Analog Audio Interconnect, 3.5 millimeter mini to mini cable. Okay, this item, I had two of these. Okay, yep, and they both sold on here. So no. One sold on here, the other one sold on Walmart. I had two of these. Those was originally priced around the $200 mark. Like if I look this up on eBay right now, if I look that up on eBay, okay. There's a few sellers, okay? Just literally a few, like three. It's you got one priced at $249.95, another priced at $195 plus $8 shipping. So they want low about what, almost 207, 206 something. You got another one priced with a pre-owned one at 145, and then the last one is priced at 249. Those prices was about the same. So this is a pretty expensive cable, y'all. But the problem is they was sitting for way too long for me anyway. Maybe if I was willing to wait another year or two, which I ain't doing that. I don't play that game. I got a 90-day to a 1 year window, and that depends on what the item is. If it's just like regular makeup and stuff, my limit's about 90 days. After that, I throw that in a bulk lot, and it got to go. Things like the cables, of course, I'll give that 6 month ish window, but after that, like I'm cool. So look, that one sold here for $71.99. So I dropped that price down to $71.99 before I finally got a purchase on that one. And I can't remember. I want to say the one that sold on Walmart, and I'm not logged into Walmart, so I ain't going to log in right now. I want to say the one that sold on Walmart probably sold for like $89 or $98. I can't remember which one I did over there. Point being, I had to go outside of what everybody else was doing, even though that was the value of those items. But for me and my business, it wasn't working because they wasn't moving. I wasn't getting a watcher. I wasn't really getting no offers. I might have got one. And so even though the value of those items was what I had them priced at, I'm here to sell. I ain't here to hold. I don't play that type of poker. I ain't holding them. And so I lowered the price until it got to a spot where I got some traction. And that's the thing on these platforms, man, that if you sell on them all, the one thing is this: they will definitely ghost your listings if they don't think it's priced at a price that the customer will be interested in. So Amazon and them will actually take the buy box away. Amazon and Walmart, they'll take the buy box away. And I think eBay just ghosts you, period. They won't even show you a listing. The other thing, I wish I could look it up, but I cannot remember the name of the item, man. Okay, I actually found it, y'all. Uh, Hold on, I got an offer. Let's see what it is. Yeah, we ain't doing that. I'll give him a little counter though. I don't even do counter offers all that often because most people don't even accept them. Honestly, in fact, if it ain't an offer I'm accept, I usually just decline because I get tired of like getting ghosted after I counter. All right, so listen, y'all. This item is called Prospera PL038RF 5-in-1 EMS microcurrent facial body anti-aging massage device. All right, that's a whole lot that I put in that title. But I mean, those are the key words, man. So look, let me see. And you know what? This item. So I got this item on a Target pallet. Retail price was I don't know, something crazy, almost $300 or so. Let me see if I can even find it on Target. There ain't even none of these was listed on eBay. That's why I was thinking like, oh man, yeah, I'm gonna get a good price for this because nobody else had it on eBay. Nobody had it on eBay, and I didn't put it on Walmart because it didn't look like it was like it looked new and untouched, honestly. But I was like, I wasn't totally sure. All right, so listen. All right, so I was wrong on the price. So the price on Target was actually $199.99. All right, so that's pretty much what I had it listed. I had like $189. It's listed on JCPenney for $300, and there's actually an eBay listing. See, this is funny. I did a search on eBay for the item. It didn't come up. I do a Google search, and then the eBay listing came up. And on this eBay listing, it's crazy. They want $299.99, and they got 6 available. I can tell you this, they're gonna sit on those for a while. Oh, and they charging $13.45 shipping. They ain't gonna never sell them. I'm telling you that right now. So listen to that. I went from a $200 item that I only had about On that pallet, I probably had about $3 into it, maybe somewhere around there. Wasn't that much on that pallet. Well, I'm gonna raise that up because there's a lot of stuff on that pallet that was just trash and like I really couldn't sell. And so I'm gonna raise that price up to maybe like $4 or $5 I was into it on because that's probably more likely. So I ended up having to drop that, y'all. Listen to this. You ready? You ready? What do you think I sold it for before I say it? What do you think I sold it for? $200 item. No traction on it for a long time. And let me see if it still has the um the list date. Okay. I don't think that's right. It was in 2023, but that I don't know if that's probably when I relisted that joint. It say now November 9th, 2023, but I had got that way before that. All right, I don't know what happened, y'all. The daggone screen went out. My computer blinked out. I don't even remember where I stopped at or if it's gonna pick up. All right, that was weird. So look, I don't know where it cut off at, so I'm gonna just kind of pick up where I left off. But anyway, that item ended up selling for $50. $50 is what I had to drop a $200 item down to because I couldn't get it to sell. Now I still made profit on it, and I sold that item in April 23rd, 2024. So I mean, it sold. You know, it sold. It didn't get sent back. That's a good thing. I ain't getting no return. And so you see, my point is like in all of those cases, I had my items priced at the market. Okay, but it wasn't getting no traction. And so it was what it was worth. These were all brand new items. These are all new condition. This ain't even used condition. And I still had to adjust and I had to make that step despite other sellers not making that step because the wait time didn't fit my model. And so if you're one that likes to wait or don't mind waiting or that's your model, that's fine. That's not my model. And guys, pricing has to fall within your business model, but also that starts with your sourcing so that you can, if you start a little high with the price, you can actually drop it and get it lower until it move and still be in the profit. And so please, y'all, make it a point to be very in tune with your market, the market that you selling, whether it's new or used, whether it's clothing, shoes, collectibles, it don't matter. Be in tune with your market and you set prices that fit your business. Don't necessarily go by what somebody else sold it. If it's not moving, if it's moving, that's a different thing. But if it's not, you got to move it. Cash flow is so important, and I think a lot of people forget that. And they'll go out and they'll buy and they'll buy and they'll buy, and you forget that, yeah, bro, you doing all this buying, you gotta sell stuff. Because if you outlaying more cash than you got coming in, you're gonna run into some problems later on down the line. And God forbid you have like a slump that lasts way longer than you thought it would. You know what I mean? And now you running fire sales. Uh, so focus on price. Learn about pricing. Pricing strategy, pricing psychology. Those are things that you should be looking for content on. Pricing strategy, pricing psychology, play with prices. Don't be afraid to go outside of what the rest of the market is doing if what you're currently doing is not working. So I hope this helped you guys. Do me a favor if you did find it helpful in any way. Give me a like. Make sure you hit that like button. Also, let me know in the comments below. Have you found that prices on eBay are typically higher than prices on other platforms when you're doing your comping and you cross referencing? And if you've had issues moving items based on price, but everybody's priced around the same, how hesitant are you to change your price? And or are you just like, you know what, forget what everybody else is doing. I need to move this item. I'm curious to know what you guys go through and what you deal with and how you deal with it. So let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you on the next one.